What's going on, guys? My name is Twan, and today I put together a top 5 list of the best tips and tricks that I could come up with to get better at aiming. In my last video, you guys really kind of blew that video up, to be honest. That is one of the most viewed videos that I've ever gotten. So, as a complimentary video to that one, the shaky hands video, I'm going to put together all of the tips that I have come up with over the years that has helped me personally get better at aiming in shooters. We're gonna do this really quick as to not waste any time, because after this video, I want you to jump into your favorite game, your game of choice, the one that you want to get better at, and start playing that game. Because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. You need to be playing the game that you said you're going to get better in. If you don't do that, how are you going to get better in? Stop watching these how to get better at aiming videos and actually go play the video. This should be the last one. So, if anything in this video has helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Please leave a comment and explain what problem you're having. Maybe I'll be able to get back to you. But these are the first 5 tips that I have for you. Number 1. Pubs is your best friend. You need to be playing pubs. Stop worrying about your KD, how much damage you have at the end of the day. You need to be landing in pubs and just land on a team. Get a gun, start playing, and just start slaying as many people as possible. You want to get into those fights as quickly as possible, because your job isn't to find loot. It's to pick up what you need, and the enemies are going to bring the loot to you. You kill them, take their loot. That's the best thing you can do. You need to think pubs as like your training ground. That is where you're going to be doing your most work. Don't worry about actual aim training apps, or even if the game has aim training modes in it. Get into pubs and just go wild. Start thinking about your shots and just slay as many people as possible. The more repetition you do doing that, the more comfortable you'll get in the game. But that's number 1. Pubs is your best friend. Play more pubs. Tip number 2. Not every gun is equal. You need to think about what range and what situation your gun will thrive in. If you're using a submachine gun, why are you shooting it at medium to long range? It's a submachine gun. You need to get in there. You need to match the gun to your playstyle. If you're an over-aggressive player, maybe think of a submachine gun or a shotgun and start running around with those more often. Choose one gun as your main and stick with it. For Apex, for example, I like the 301. I like the flatline. I'm a medium to close range player. I'm very aggressive. I break their armor and I move in. 301 is a great all-around gun. Flatline is my favorite assault rifle. You need to understand what your gun specializes in and use it in that way. You're not going to be running around with a pistol and popping people from across the map like your favorite Twitch streamer, so stop trying to do that. Worry about what your gun is good at and focus your playstyle around that gun. It's actually that simple. You'll be surprised on how many gunfights you will win utilizing your gun better. It seems obvious, but you need to think about that. Tip number 3, know your surroundings. Understand the map. You're not going to get better at aiming if you're standing out in the open taking on a team 1v3. You're going to get demolished. You need to know your surroundings. Think of your favorite Twitch streamer. Say it's Imperial Hal. Look at the way he plays. He always plays next to cover. He is never out in the open, and if he is, he's out of place and he always dies. Every single time. He always knows the map and he sticks to cover because he's familiar with it. Again, the more pubs you're playing, the more you're getting used to that map, the more map knowledge you have using your favorite gun, the more fights you will win, I promise you. To get better at aiming, you need to get better at the game, okay? It's hand in hand. You don't do one and the other. You can't be Shroud. We're all not Shroud. He just picks up a game and he's great at it. It's just who he is. He's been doing this for a lot longer than you have on stream. He has no anxiety in game because he's streaming all the time and he knows his maps, he knows his guns, he knows what he's good at. Which goes into tip number 4. Stop trying to take insane shots. You're not your favorite streamer. You are just, you're you know? You know what you're good at. So stop trying to hit a 360 ladder stall YYX combo from old FaZe Clan videos. You're not trying to do that. Take your time and slow down. Pace your shots and shoot a little bit in front of the enemy if they're running. If they're running left to right, shoot a little bit in front of them. Because in a lot of these newer games, there is bullet time, and that bullet needs to travel through the air. So shoot a little bit in front of them, slow yourself down. When you see an enemy, trigger discipline. That is a huge thing. In a lot of my videos, you'll see I don't shoot immediately as soon as I see an enemy. I wait for the perfect time for my team to be ready and everyone in position. Then we take our shot. It's a good rule of thumb to just be trigger disciplined. Do not start shooting as soon as you see an enemy. You need to just slow down and get your shot lined up. And then tip number 5, you guys are not gonna like this, but please, you need to stop raging. Stop getting mad at the game you're playing and you're missing your shots. If it's not registering, it's not registering. Do not get mad. Load up a new game and just start going. At the end of the day, it's just a game. It is just a game, and you don't need to be mad. If you're mad, then your shot is going to be throwing off. Your hand is going to be shaking because your anxiety is through the roof and your anger is fueling you, and you're going to want to get off. If you get shot, if you get out of position and you're just taken out immediately, say you landed in a fight and you immediately lose. That's unfortunate. The phrase you need to be using is, that was unfortunate. Stop getting mad at the game because some BS happens. It's a game, it's going to happen. You need to just get used to it and get over it and get into another game. Start it up, run it back. Get your squad into the correct positioning with the guns they are comfortable with and slay other squads. That is what you need to do. 1, 2, 3. It's that simple. And you know what? Here's a bonus tip for you. Play the game you're trying to get good at. If you're not playing the game you're trying to get good at, how are you going to get better at that game? It's come on guys, like that one's a free one right there. And another thing that I'm going to just throw in here that has helped me a lot, keep your settings universal. If you have a 5 sensitivity in Apex, you need to have a 5 sensitivity in Halo Infinite. Or at least it's going to be a little different in every game. You need to find the sensitivity that matches up with each game. Say a 5 sensitivity in Apex is a 7 sensitivity in Halo. That's fine. Use that sensitivity. If your grenade button is G in Halo, but it's F in Warzone, you can't be doing that. You need to switch it up. You need to keep all of your key bindings the same. If 1 is your kill streak in Warzone, you need to change it because 1 should always be your gun. It should be your primary gun. 2 should be your secondary gun. Q should be your ability, and if your game like Warzone doesn't have an ability, that's when you can start using maybe your kill streaks, maybe your tactical. For Warzone, for me, that's my tactical grenade. You need to think of things like that. Keep all of your key bindings the same. Stop changing them. Your hand-to-eye coordination is getting used to one sensitivity, so when you get into another game, your sensitivity is thrown off and your aim is thrown off because they're not the same. That I'm going to ask you one more time. Please use universal key bindings in all of your games. No exceptions. That is the definitive rule. But that's 5, 6, 7, maybe even tips that I just gave you to help you improve your aiming in your favorite FPS. All of those rules applies to any FPS that you're playing, whether that's Apex, Halo, Warzone, the new Battlefield, any game that you are currently playing right now. Those tips will work. So if this video has helped you, please leave a like, leave a comment about what you're having specifically problems with, and maybe I'll be able to make a video about that specifically. But thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.